Get started. We're going to have the Planning and Zoning Commissions Thursday, September 26, 2024. I see that all the commissioners are present today. I do want to have something on record. It shows here Gabriel Cabrera, it's just commissioner. Please, let's see if we can change that to vice chairman. Indicated there, please. Thank you very much. All right, because everybody stand for invocation, please. Commissioner Deborah Kelly's going to lead us.
Our Father, which art in heaven, we come before you today, thanking you again for another day's journey. Lord, we just ask that you guide us, help us make the best decision for our citizens and this wonderful city. Guide our minds and our hearts, and we pray, Lord Jesus, that we're all on one accord. In Jesus' holy and precious name we pray. Amen.
Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Okay, please be seated. As we get started, is there anyone in the audience today, or we have any visitors that wants to speak in regards to something not on the agenda today? Do we have any visitors that wants to speak in anything not on the agenda? No? Okay, we'll continue on to item 5. Adoption of the minutes. Commissioners, have you had a chance to look at last month's, or actually is this month's special meeting for the Planning and Zoning Commission for September 20, 2024 on the minutes? If y'all have, do I have a motion, please?
I move that we approve the minutes for the special meeting on September 12th, 2024.
Thank you, ma'am. I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Second. I have a second to approve the special meeting, the minutes for the special meetings of the Planning and Zoning Commission for September 20, 2024. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion carries. All right, we're going to have a public hearing today for 6.1. We're going to open the public hearing to conduct a public hearing to receive comments for specific use permit to allow the expansion and use of tool rental center and large equipment rental. This property is located at Home Depot of Terrell, Lot 1, Block A, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, also known as 151 Windsor Avenue, Terrell, Texas, SUP 23-12.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. I bring to you tonight a specific use permit for our Home Depot. We all know where that is. The applicant, who is the Home Depot USA, Inc., is wanting to expand their inside small tool rental. Then they also want to offer some large equipment rental that they'll display in their parking lot. Currently, the zoning is commercial, and it covers the use of and their certificate of occupancy is covered with the small tool rental. However, it does not cover the large equipment rental. So mainly we're here today to get approval, your consideration and approval for city council for the large equipment. So in the definitions, heavy machinery sales and storage is allowed in commercial, and this is what it says: a building or open area used for the display, sale, rental, or storage of heavy machinery, tractors, or similar machines, or a group of machines which function together as a unit. We sent 7 letters out to the abutting owners in a 200-foot radius, and we did not receive any responses back, either in favor or not in favor. If you'll turn to the next page, here is their concept plan. So looking at it, you see the Home Depot building, and the traffic comes down the Windsor Avenue. Generally, they would turn left into the Home Depot here on their northwest end. They would use that area for zoning, but as you can see, we've had them take that first row that's hatched out Okay, you see, right across from, see where the tool rent, okay, right there. So that's where they will park, temporary park, and then, and on the few pages after this, I'm going to show you where the designated fire lane is. Our fire marshals have been giving tickets out there for that, because they've had customers that have been loading and unloading in the fire lane, and so I believe these got their attention, and so we made sure that that fire lane was marked in our ordinance, so it will follow from this point forward. Home Depot was built in 2003. They bought the property in 2002. So their certificate of occupancy didn't cover a lot of those items back then like we do today. So to bring it up to standards, we made sure that was part of the ordinance. Okay, turning on, you'll see the application. On page 16, Home Depot, I had them give me a little brief description about their equipment rental. They're large and they're small. On the next page, 17, are the equipment that they're going to offer. You'll see a tractor loader, backhoe, aerial equipment, light tower. It goes on to the second page, a dump trailer, trencher, and a skid steer. The next page, page 19, is our location map. Home Depot is in red. Going to the next page, the zoning shows that it's highway commercial. The following page is, again, the future land use, which is heavy commercial. On page 22, you have the 7 buffering 200-foot landowners that are within that 200 buffer zone. Page 23 is the public notice that was mailed out to each of those, as well as published in the Terrell Tribune. And then we have our ordinance. Ordinance number 3078. And Chairman, I'd like to just point out a couple of things before we go into a public hearing. On page 28 is the Exhibit A, which denotes where the small rental is being expanded within the current Home Depot footprint, as well as where the parking for the large equipment rental. But on the next page, you'll see that we have prepared in red, that is the fire marshal, the fire lanes. And so that is in there. It'll be follow this ordinance and will become executed record. And I will answer any questions after the public hearing.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor of SUP in the audience that wants to speak in favor of SUP or for SUP 23-12? Okay. Is anyone in the audience wants to speak not in favor of SUP 23-12? No? Okay, close public hearing. Item 6.2, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, granting a specific use permit under the provision of 31B Appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell to Home Depot USA, Inc., allowing the exception to the provision of Section 29 Appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell for a certain property located at 151 Windsor Avenue. The same also being known as Lot 1, Block A, Home Depot of Terrell, addition to the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, by permitting an expansion of the tool rental center and the construction of a large equipment rental area to be located on said property currently zoned as commercial, providing for the repeal of conflicting ordinance, providing for servability, and providing an effective date, SUP-12. Okay, Commissioner, do we have any questions in regards to this? I think it's a value, in my opinion, I think it's a valuable thing that they're doing. We have that gives a second option, especially here in town, for the rental. And they have one in, if y'all been to the one in, I believe Rockwall has the rental, one too.
I have a couple of questions,
Yes, ma'am.
and I don't disagree, by the way. So the tool rental, is that a new? I think so.
Okay.
Yes. Is that? I'm a little confused because, like, when I look on Google Earth, I see a plan by the Home Depot that looks the same as where it's saying the tool rental. Is this an addition or just renovation of interior space?
It's they're reconstructing the inside. So the footprint of Home Depot's not changing at all. They're just, where it was just a little small area, they're tripling it in size. They're adding a bigger selection to their customers to rent
gotcha.
of the hand tools.
Okay. And then the large equipment's just gonna be in the existing parking lot. Is that-
There's going to be designated spots for them, and they'll maintain in those in that area.
And just for clarification, this SUP, they don't need an SUP to do the interior renovation of the interior of that Home Depot. It's just only. for the
Correct,
outside.
correct. That'll be with our building official, and he will be the one, when they apply for their building permit, their construction permit, he'll be the one overseeing that construction and giving them the revised CO after that's completed. That's the retention pond. Nothing changed. We didn't do anything different to, it's existing. Yes. Right. Well, you have to remember, we're revising the plat, so, yeah, so to follow the ordinance. So we have to list out all of that on there.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioners, any other questions for? More questions in regards to this? Do I have a motion on the floor, please?
I move that we approve the SUP 23-12 ordinance number 3078.
I have a motion to approve SUP 23-12. Do I have a second? I have a second on the floor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Okay, motion carries.
My apologies, Commissioner, who wins the second?
Who's second? Randy.
Randy,
Commissioner Randy. All right, we're gonna, going on item to 6.3, we're gonna conduct a public hearing to receive comment for specific use permit to allow the construction and operation of a contractor's office/shop with no outside storage. The property is located at 15720 SH 205, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, SUP 24-04. Yes, ma'am.
Commissioners and Chairman, I brought this exact property to you all back on June 27th when this applicant submitted a zone change. We had inherited this area into our city limits back in March of '23, and it came into our city limits as agriculture. So the applicant petitioned to change the zoning to commercial to facilitate this use, this concept that he has. We're here tonight. We've done the zone change. We've got that right for him. So now we're wanting an SUP to get the use of the property. And if it's approved tonight and then with city council, he'll come back before you with a construction plat where we'll define and have all the details of the actual build. But I am going to present you with some renderings tonight so you can see it, get an idea of what it's going to look like in the after condition. So again, it was presented to you all on June 27th for a zone change. You all approved. It went to City Council on July 16th and 30th and passed there. It's also known as 15720. And it has been in the city limits since April of 2023, not March. 10 letters were sent out to the same owners. We did verify that there hadn't been any sales with new owners, but the same 10 owners, and I did not receive any responses to this SUP application. If approved tonight, the property owner will be required to submit a construction plat application, which will include definite building standards of the development. If you'll turn to the next page, you'll see it's a location map. In red, this is the current property. If you turn on to page, the zoning map, you'll see that it's now in the pink, that is the commercial that it currently is. And the other small property that's just kind of to the northwest, that is the waterfall property, that's that event center that you all approved their zoning change and their construction plat a few months ago. All right, the next page is our future land use. It's Texas Heritage, but you have to remember, we brought this in as farmland, and so that future land use will remain as Texas Heritage, meaning small ranchettes type communities, until we go back and do an overall update and revise some of those future land uses. The next page on 40 are the individuals we sent the notification of this hearing tonight. Page 41 is the actual publication that was run in the Terrell Tribune as well as by mail. And then we're going to go to the next page, and I've got some renderings here. And again, we're here tonight just to get a recommendation from you all to go to council for the use of the property. So when we come back to you, before you, for our construction plat, then I will stand here and vouch that it's met all the criteria of our ordinances, that our building official, our fire marshal, our engineer, our utility director, they've all passed and said everything is in compliance with what they're wanting to do. So if you'll look at the next few pages, just of the renderings, it's going to give you an idea. But what I want to show you are the colored ones that's got the 6 pictures on it at one time. So as you're driving south into Terrell on 205, this property is going to be on the left. And if you'll look at the picture on the bottom left, as you can see, there's going to be suites that are going to front on the left and the right. But as you drive down the center, look over to the right, that picture, then you're going to see then small buildings that are going to be on the left and the right. So it's basically a horseshoe or a U type. There's going to be about 3 parking spots per suite. And the one reason why we're before you today is the uses that this applicant has proposed do work within the commercial. What we did in the ordinance, and I'll read those and point those out to you, we made sure we listened to your wishes, your wants, your questions, as well as city council. We are not allowing outside storage, and this applicant knows this. And so everything that you're going to see before us will all be done within these suites. Okay? All right, so before we go into the public hearing, I do want to go to the ordinance on page 62. It is ordinance 3066, and I want to refer you to page that has the building standards on it. It's after the warranty deed, okay, page 70. So you're going to see, these are some on the permitted uses, you're going to see these 7. And the majority of these, again, the applicant has already been talking with some of these proposed tenants and has gotten some verbal commitments or LOIs wanting to use some of those. And you can see that we're requiring each of these to submit an SUP. Now, a lot of those, our zoning ordinance already requires an SUP with that use. However, to keep and make sure that our property owner shares this ordinance, this executed ordinance, with his future tenants, we wanted to put it in black and white, and we wanted to state no outside storage allowed. And then, of course, on the non-permitted use are the ones that we have been historically trying to add, that, you know, no gaming facilities, no outside sales for outside storage, the accessory buildings, no mobile home sales, no portable building sales, and no petroleum distribution wholesale facilities. And if everything is, you know, agreed upon tonight and all, yes, again, we will come back to you, and I'll have better building standards and the staff comments on those standards. And I will be back if you have any questions.
Question now or later?
This is public hearing, this for the next one. Okay, is there anyone in the audience that wants to speak in favor or wants to speak anything in regards to or oppose? No? Okay, so we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Item 6.4, it's an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, granting a specific use permit under the provision of 31B Appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell to 157220 State Highway 205 LLC, allowing the exception to the provision of Section 29 Appendix 2 zoning ordinance of the City of Terrell for certain property more particularly described in Exhibit A, attached hereto as 5.048 acres of land out of the ML Swing Survey Abstract Number 501, Kaufman County, Texas, and being further described as Block 2, Nike County Estates, and also known as 15720 State Highway 205, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, by permitting the usage specific to Exhibit B attached hereto and made a part hereof for all purposes to be located on said property currently zoned as commercial, providing for the repeal of conflicting ordinance, providing for their servability, and providing an effective date of SUP 24-04. Okay, Commissioners, now we can ask some questions. Did you have some questions, ma'am?
I did. I was just wanting to make sure I understand the flex-based rental. It's commercial flex-based rental. So is that there can be flexible, different type of things that are out there?
Yes.
Just make sure.
As long as they comply with the ordinance and then our commercial zoning use.
Okay. And then further, are these, just my curiosity, is this metal buildings? Or these the metal buildings?
That's going to be the base. However, he'll be required to follow our facade, the requirements of our building standards for the outside facade. And so I'll have better details of that during the construction plat phasing.
All right, and the last thing I had to ask, I saw the different specific uses that you had here. Now, will each one of those have to come back to us for each building at
Yes,
a time? Or is this covering it? Okay.
Yes, they will. So when he rents out a spot, then that applicant will be required to seek their own certificate of occupancy. And so they'll come back. But before that can happen, when we come to you with the construction plat, each of those buildings will comply, with our building standards. Mhm.
All right,
And I will let you all know that our staff did review, considered, and checked and verified that all ordinances were met.
right. One last comment, and not anything to this, but, and I don't know if it's just my glasses, eyes getting old or whatever, but because I see we have a lot of little outside space around some of these pictures. Is there any way we can blow them up just a little bit more so we can read it?
We'll try to work on that.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
in the future, just because it's very interesting and a lot of good information, and I just could see it a little bit.
Right. I think this will be a great, improvement for this area of town, and so I'm looking forward to it.
Commissioners, one thing I have to add is, I think I've seen this in some of the other cities growing, a lot of shops like this, and.
He has one in, what's?
Oh, and I think they're very needed, especially here since we don't have that much.
Yes, he's definitely no stranger to these kind of developments. He also owns the gun range, the Rockwell Gun Range, just right west of this property.
Okay.
So I have a couple of questions.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
The neighbors, who are the neighbors? Is it residential at this moment?
No, they're commercial. There's some commercial, but they're grandfathered in, so they're still zoned agriculture. So they're vested in, and they have to continue operating as they are. So 2 doors down is the event center, and in between them used to be, Mr. Garner, can you speak to that? That's right.
Oh, so that home is vacant? Okay. In the area, okay. And then question 2, so I see on the plan, the architecture is quite interesting. I personally, if it's really cool metal architecture, I don't mind it. Because there are some very contemporary, there are a lot of contemporary metal buildings out there in the world that are actually quite nice. But that's a sidebar. But I think when I see the site plan, I look at it, I can't read all of it, so I'm a little, what I can read, I feel like I see, my sense is lots of concrete and very little landscape. And I see a fire lane and a roadway that looks wider than it needs to be. And so I guess my question is there opportunity within that site plan to kind of tweak some of that and have not just a sea of just concrete with buildings on it, but maybe push and pull those spaces a little bit to create some, to soften it up a little? Because I can appreciate, you get, the buildings are nice, but I can appreciate as you kind of build these out in the city, it's just like one kind of like slot of concrete with another slot of concrete and another, you build it up 50 times in a row, and it becomes kind of a little bit of an impressive experience over time.
Right.
And so that would be my only question is, how does that play in? Because I just see.
We do have
See it
landscape.
maxed out.
We have landscaping, we have signage ordinances, we have parking requirements, and that's all part of our zoning ordinance, our technical construction standards and specifications. The fire marshal has their own requirements. So there's about 10 different things that staff reviews to make sure it complies, and landscaping most definitely is one.
But when I look at this, I see the hatched area that is the fire lane, and I see.
But you have to remember, this is just we're getting the use.
Totally,
Yeah,
I'm
the
just
use.
throwing out my
And
thoughts
so-
on that.
That's something they can bring up
Yeah.
on the construction plan.
Yes,
All
it's
that's
the
gonna be
question that I
reviewed in
have.
the design,
Correct.
part of that. This part is just the SUP, for the committee here. They've already brought to us what their preliminary thought, and we've got a lot of red lines on that. There's some drainage issues that we're gonna have to make sure that we have to go by. Yes, there is concrete. We don't allow flex space or gravel parking, so there is gonna be concrete. So now we gotta mitigate how we do that, and then also incorporate that with the landscape. So there's several check boxes that they gotta, to achieve.
Yeah.
Once they present that, would be in the construction plat.
And you have to remember, staff, we put in a lot of man-hours verifying that every box is checked before we bring it to you. So, and when we come back with our construction plat, I definitely will have those answers for you.
But, I mean, the only reason why I mentioned, I get that this is the first step and that it's not a design. Like, I totally get that.
Right.
But I do think sometimes someone I have also seen scenarios where a group may approve something, and then you get down the road and you're like, oh, that's not what I thought, but then you've already.
Then they would not get a construction permit nor a CO. If they did not build it to what the PNC and City Council approved, which was presented to you all and approved, then they would not receive the permits. But you have to also remember, going through the construction permit process, our building official is looking at any development agreements, any PDs. He's looking at anything that's been presented and making sure that that finished product complies with everything that we've approved.
And Commissioners, keep in mind, we're just approving an SUP tonight for that.
All great concerns and comments. And if you'll go back to the previous slide and look at what you're going to, not that one, one more. Maybe there. If you look at the lower left corner, that's what you're going to see from Highway 205. So it's going to be very inviting. And the front facade is all brick, wood, and metal. And then the back, so the front elevation you're going to see from 205 is going to be very inviting. It's going to have a lot of landscape. The back portion, to your point, will have more concrete from a utilization standpoint to get vehicles in and out, traffic, and we've got to have fire lanes. But, rest assured, everything will meet all building standards and comply with that. But our goal was to really give a good front presentation from 205. All right?
Thank you, sir, I appreciate it.
You bet.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioners, do we have any other questions? Keep in mind, like I said, it's just a SUP for the 24-04 for this property.
I have a question here. So the only one that doesn't require, based on the SUPs here, the only one that doesn't require an SUP would be a bakery and a confectionery, right?
That's right.
'Cause
Yes,
that's part of the commercial.
that's part of commercial.
Everything
Mhm.
else, it's based on our new matrix that we
Yes.
had adopted.
He can rent whoever he wants to, as long as it either complies with our use chart 2B in our zoning ordinance, or it complies with the ordinance itself.
And it looks like all of the road that was going to be taken for 205 expansion's already taken into account too.
Yes.
That's good. Hopefully that's
TxDOT
gonna be
has,
the drainage too. I don't remember if they had the underground there or not, but I think they did, so.
yeah, that's all. They'll have to meet the requirements set back. They'll also have to apply for a driveway permit. So we send them, before they can get their building permit, we send them to TxDOT to apply for their driveway permit as well.
All right, commissioners? Do I have a motion on the floor? Thank you. I have a motion to approve SUP 24-04. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Commissioner, we're going to continue on to action items. 7.1 is accept of American Way improvements. Mr. Snap.
So Commissioners, I come to you tonight to bring several final acceptances here. I've been ill and playing a little catch-up here, and as the last meeting, we had a final acceptance. This is to clarify this. What is the final acceptance, you ask? Anytime we have improvements within the city limits, part of our subdivision ordinance is the responsibility of the city engineer is to go and approve that the improvements, generally speaking, are from the ground down, are all done per the construction plat. So if it's done per the construction plat and they approve, then we go through there and we do a walkthrough. We actually walk all the roads and we'll spot deficiencies, defects, et cetera, and note those and then report that back to they'll be there with us, the developer. And we walk through there and we note those, and once those done, and I receive the as-built drawings, which means the drawings are declare what's in the ground is on paper, then that it comes to the point where it comes to the P and Z for final acceptance. So we'll go through the first one here, 7.1.
This is just, we approved this a long time ago and you're just saying we're done. It looks
So
good.
part of the process is you approve the construction plat that says, I agree that this is what needs to be here, and I approve for the use, et cetera. Then they go and build it, and then this is the final step that says, okay, the city now accepts it, okay? And what that does trigger is we have a 2-year performance bond on all our improvements, 100% performance bond. So for 2 years, so in layman's terms, we basically have a warranty. And for 2 years, if any defects or anything, if it's some of the concrete panels, we'll get talking about some of the roads here. Generally, they're done in panels, what we call, and if some of them float up, float down, crack, in that 2-year period, I just call that contractor back. He's got to fix it. So this is the follow-up. So what it triggers is this final acceptance starts that 2-year clock.
Yeah, these are always the easy ones. I'm always inclined to just say, let's approve action items 7.1 through 7.7, because you're the boss that knows what you're looking at, and it saves you a lot of explaining.
Hey, I've mentioned that idea just more than a couple times.
I did have a question. So for example, on 7.1, for those that don't know, can you explain what that eagle means for the city? That statue that's in there?
The statue,
Yeah, right in the center of that,
I don't know. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know. That was there originally. So what this is on 7.1, this is the roundabout that's out there at Crossroads. And what happened is when it was initially put in, 18-wheelers go everywhere.
Yeah.
And their tail end of their trailers were actually running over in, tearing up concrete. So this is what this project was, is basically we spread the footprint. If you'll see when you go out there, there's certain curves that have some extra concrete aprons to accommodate that. So that's what, we just made it nice, put more plants in the inside and dolled it up.
Yeah, the
I didn't
eagle's
even
just
notice
because of
the
the
cur-
America, it's just that American theme, yeah.
So.
Yeah, if you entertain a motion, I would approve 7.1 through 7.7, but.
I was gonna say that, because a lot of this is just basically just start on time, so. In
Yes.
regards to that, I'd like to hear a motion about to approve 7.1 all the way down to 7.6.
I'd make a motion, we approve action items 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, 7.4, 7.5, and 7.6.
Okay, I have a motion to approve 7.1 item all the way down to 7.6.
And I second it.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Eh,
7.3 is Metro Drive. We repaired the entire road from the. I don't know what page you're on. So the photos, yes,
Okay,
86.
we just approved those, so,
Yeah.
okay.
What is 7.7?
Parts of it was not replaced because they were in good condition. So we spread our dollars as far as we could. We just didn't rip up the entire. I just couldn't tell from that photo. Yeah. And if you notice when you go through there, it was restriped. And FYI, Apache Trail is going to be restriped.
Move over to action item 7.7, discuss and consider construction plat for Kingsman Estate, a residential development for 36 single-family homes situated in the 8.852 acres of land more described as Lot 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 out of the J.C. Hill Survey Abstract number 202 in the city of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas,
We need to.
CP 24-09.
Chairman and Commissioners, I bring to you tonight a construction plat. It will be known as Kingsman Estates. This property is located, if you'll turn over to page 105, and it's between the railroad tracks and West End. Directly to the west of the railroad tracks is our Oakland Cemetery. That tells you where that is. All right, this owner and developer is Joe Cat Realty and Proficient Development LLCs. City Council approved the development agreement back on January the 17th, and I have a copy of that in the package for you. The owner has submitted this construction plat application for their property, which consists of 8.8 acres. The property is located in the JCL survey, and it's abstract 202, lots 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 here in the city of Terrell. The landowner and developer is proposing a single-family neighborhood with 36 single-family residents controlled by an HOA to be known as Kingsman Estates. The current zoning complies with the use of the property as well as the city of Terrell's comprehensive plan, zoning ordinance, and all other code studies and plans. So again, Commissioners, I stand before you and say that this has been researched, talked, planned. This developer has gone through many meetings with us. We've sent them back to the drawing boards to revise their concept, their construction plan, and their civil plans. And they are now at the point now to move forward to apply for a construction permit. If approved tonight, we'll obtain final approval of the engineering and architectural plans as per the requirements of a construction plat application, obtain the necessary building permits and pay all applicable fees to proceed with construction, complete the public improvements as required. During and after construction, inspections and approval by the city engineer, building inspector, and/or city contractors. And then lastly, it will be for then a certificate of occupancy be obtained for each lot. If you'll turn to the next page, you'll see the application. On page 99 is a preliminary concept plan, and you'll be able to see that here when you're coming down West End, you've got two ways to go into the development. You can go in either on Easton, or you can go in on the front off of West End. The next few pages are the vesting deed, proving ownership. Again, on page 105 is the location map. Next, page 106 is the zoning. It is zoned retail and office. However, because of the single-family residence across the street, we were able during the development agreement to give them the flexibility, if they do not build these 36 single-family homes, and they have 18 months from receiving approval with their construction plat, then they risk the zoning reverting back to retail and office. So that gives an incentive to this builder to get going on their building permit. The next page is the zoning. And then you'll see the development agreement, and if you have some time, you want to read through, you probably already have, and made yourself aware of what the conditions were of this neighborhood, this establishment, what we're willing for them to build, and what the city's obligations are for what they're providing to us. It's a trade. If they put in the water and sewer and built these streets and cured a portion of Dick Street for us, then we were going to give them some concessions on other items. And it's all defined here in this development agreement, which has been approved by City Council. If you'll turn to 134, there's going to be 7 home plans. But tonight, I'm presenting just 2 of the home plans. They've gone back with their architects on 4 of them, or 5 of them, and those are being redesigned. And so they will get with our building official and make sure that those home plans comply and are in accordance with the development agreement, just like these 2 are. But this will give you a flavor of what these homes and what this builder's wanting to do. And I will stop for any questions.
Commissioner, we have any questions for staff?
No, I see that you're listening to Commissioner Cheney, because I look at this development agreement and they have lots of trees.
Yes, that's part, we didn't curve on any of that. That's all strictly out of the zoning ordinance for
They're better than that
landscaping.
than me, because I kill every tree I plant, but that's good. I do like that, especially the ones that abut the
Right.
railroads. That'll be nice.
I will tell you one thing that the owner and builder agreed upon. Because this backs up to our railroad, and as you drive through our town, you see over time some of these privacy fences, they start to fall and teeter-totter. This developer is going to build a sound wall buffer wall, a masonry, that will not only help with the sound noise of the railroad, but it'll also provide additional protection for any children playing in the backyard, what have you. So we're really excited, and that's going to be one of our requirements now. We're getting ready to present our TCSS, and that's going to be now a standard from going forward when it's in these situations. And so we're really excited to have that and have them be the start for our town.
Commissioners, any other questions?
What about coming off the west end?
Mm-hmm.
That street is currently rock, so will that be reconstructed?
It's going to be built to our standards, yes. The
Okay.
concrete, the flex space, the width, sidewalks,
Oh,
everything, yes. That builder, that's one of the concessions. They're building and adding to our infrastructure, and so they're getting a little bit of some tax rebates on some of their items once we accept it.
Thank you,
And again, it's defined in our development agreement, if you're curious.
thank you.
Any questions?
Any other questions for staff in regards to CP 24-09?
I did have a question where it says here that obtain a certificate of occupancy for each developed lot. Norm for residential?
Well, it's yes and no. That'll be after the home is built, when it's sold and built, and then before they can move in, then we'll have that final certificate that the home is ready to be lived in. Yes.
It's not something they're gonna renew every year?
No. That's just the initial, that it all complied, everything checked out, the fire extinguishers, the access, all of that. But that also is monitored during the build from beginning to end by our building official.
And these are for sale versus for rent.
Homestead exempt, exactly.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Now, do I have a motion on the floor in regards to construction plat 24-09?
I move that we accept construction plat 24-09.
I have a motion to approve construction plat 24-09. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we're gonna move to item 9. We're gonna adjourn to an executive session in accordance to section 551 in the state of Texas.
Any questions for us?
Any questions? Going to regular sessions. Do we have any more questions? Oh, are we ready, Katie? Wait, okay, good, okay. We're back into regular session. And I think that's all for today. Thank you, commissioners, for coming out tonight, and if anybody has any questions, meeting's adjourned.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Was that?